Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Have you ever found yourself gazing at an ancient ruin or maybe a medieval cathedral and wondered, how exactly did they build that?
Hmm.
Or even more deeply, why did they choose those specific shapes, those colors, that particular
What
style?
was driving those choices?
Exactly. What drove the artistic and architectural decisions of civilizations long past? And, well, what profound messages were they maybe embedding in everything they created? It's a really fascinating question, I think. It reveals so much about who they were.
It truly is. And these weren't just, arbitrary design choices. Every line, every structure, every single adornment was just imbued with deep meaning. It reflected their values, their political landscape, their environment,
Yeah.
even their understanding of the cosmos.
Right.
It's like a powerful silent language of form and function that just echoes through history.
Absolutely. So today we're embarking on a, monumental journey guided by your curated sources to explore the foundational design styles of four incredible periods. We've got the enigmatic Aegean, the monumental ancient Egyptian, the idealized classical Greek, and the soaring medieval Gothic. Plus, a look at Byzantium, too.
A grand tour.
It is our mission to unearth the core nuggets of knowledge from each, looking at their historical backdrops, their distinct art, architecture, fashion, even the furniture they used.
And we're going to try and unpack how their beliefs, their systems of governance, their natural surroundings profoundly shaped everything they built and created. We might find some surprising connections, some profound insights into that universal human drive for expression and meaning.
It's about seeing beyond just the surface, isn't it? Trying to understand the soul of an era.
Exactly.
So prepare for a thorough exploration. We'll delve into the nuances of each era, identify what made them truly unique, and discover how these foundational styles, they continue to echo in our world today. What stands out to you as we embark on this? Let's unpack this together. Okay, let's begin our deep dive in the Aegean. This region, often called the cradle of Western civilization, we're talking about the Bronze Age cultures that flourished right there in the Aegean basin, roughly between, say, 3000 and 1000 BCE.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say Asian civilization, we're really focusing on three distinct but definitely interconnected cultures: the early Cycladic, the Minoan, and the Mycenaean.
And their geography, it profoundly influenced their development and their distinct identities. Just think about Crete for a moment.
Okay.
As an island, it had this amazing natural defense. It allowed the early Minoans to thrive without really needing massive fortifications.
Right, so no big walls like you see later.
Exactly, not in their early palace sites. But then, in stark contrast, you look over on the mainland, the rugged Peloponnesus in Greece, that became the heartland for the Mycenaean civilization.
Okay.
And they developed a fiercely militaristic nature, which is directly reflected in their heavily fortified cities. Totally different feel.
And they were seriously wealthy, weren't they? I mean, their economic power seems to have stemmed from these really robust trade networks across the ancient world.
Oh, absolutely. They weren't just importing metal ores from places as far-flung as Europe, Arabia, and Anatolia.
Right.
They were transforming these raw materials into beautiful, finished metal objects, which they then skillfully exported. This made them, indispensable trading partners with the big powerhouses like Egypt and Babylon.
And that incredible wealth must have deeply influenced their luxurious lifestyles and, of course, their art.
Without a doubt. Now, shifting to their spiritual lives, the Minoan religious system was quite unique. It seems dominated by a powerful mother goddess figure. And their grand palaces, like the legendary Knossos, weren't just seats of political power. They were theocratic centers. Religious authority and political governance were, seamlessly intertwined.
So church and state were basically one.
In a sense, yes. And this spiritual and political fusion is powerfully symbolized by the horns of consecration. You see these distinctive horn shapes adorning the tops of their palaces and sacred sites.
Okay.
They symbolize both sacred authority and royal power.
What's really fascinating here, though, is that despite these strong religious beliefs and a clearly sophisticated society, the Minoans didn't construct those monumental temples like we see in Egypt or later Greece.
No, they didn't. Instead, they used specific rooms within their palaces or sometimes even natural caves as sacred spaces. These rooms, they often had benches for statues and offerings, and they resemble smaller shrines found not just on mainland Greece, but also way over in Syria and Palestine. It suggests a different, maybe more intimate approach to the divine.
So their polytheistic beliefs also led to a unique way of visualizing their gods.
Yes, very striking forms. They were depicted as bulls, powerful symbols of virility and sacrifice, as enigmatic snakes, maybe representing regeneration, or in human and combined forms, it hints at these deep connections to nature and fertility rituals.
And the Mycenaeans who came later, did they pick this up?
They did. The Mycenaean religion adopted many shared symbols from the Minoans, including those palace-topped horns, but importantly, their clay tablets give us these tantalizing glimpses of specific Mycenaean gods, like Poseidon and Zeus.
Ah, so the beginnings of the Greek pantheon we know.
Exactly. It offers a clear foreshadowing of the later, more defined Greek pantheon.
Now, when it comes to fashion in the Bronze Age Aegean, it's quite a distinctive story, isn't it? Cretan civilization's fashion, it initially took some cues from the grandeur of Egypt and Babylon, maybe?
It seemed so, initially. But as their own wealth and artistic expression flourished, they developed a truly unique and, frankly, sophisticated style.
And their textile production was pretty advanced for the time.
Remarkably so. They had a long history of wool spinning and flax cultivation across Crete. And they weren't just weaving plain cloth. They were using sophisticated vegetable pigments and even extracting that really valuable purple dye from Murex shellfish.
Wow, purple dye. That was a big deal later, too.
Huge deal. It's a testament to their innovative textile technology back then.
So for the men, the simple loincloth evolved over time.
It did. It progressed from just a basic wrap into more tailored, short, closed trousers, often held up by belts that were intricately decorated with metal elements.
Okay.
But for the high-ranking folks, princes, dignitaries, priests, ceremonial wear was much grander. Think long, elegant, one-piece gowns in bright, vibrant colors, richly embroidered, clearly signaling their social hierarchy.
And the women's costumes were even more elaborate.
Oh, definitely. They really came into their own from the middle Minoan III period onward. Imagine intricately sewn gowns with varied forms and trimmings, often paired with distinct aprons, bodices that emphasize the bust, and these culotte skirts, plus diverse, fashionable hats.
And those flounces.
Ah, yes, the flounces. A particularly striking and culturally unique detail. These tiered ruffles sewn onto skirts, sometimes forming striking checkerboard patterns.
And famously, the bare torso tradition for women.
Yes, quite famously. Minoan women had a tradition of leaving the torso bare, which is a powerful and unique cultural statement for the period.
And the ornaments. Minoan women, known for their elegance, they adorned their hair with exquisite gold bands, delicate diadems, or even leaf-shaped gold plates.
Absolutely. The treasure of Priam, famously discovered at Troy, the connection to Priam is debated, provides stunning examples of their intricate gold hair ornamentation. It showcases their exceptional skill in fine metalwork.
Politically, the Minoans are famously associated with the legendary king Minos. He's introduced as the mythical ruler of Crete, son of Zeus and Europa.
That's the legend. He's credited with establishing a powerful maritime empire, gaining control of the Aegean from his magnificent base at Knossos. It really underscores the deep intertwining of myth and political reality in their foundational narrative.
But in sharp contrast to those open, seemingly peaceful Minoan sites, the Mycenaean kingdoms on mainland Greece were fundamentally different.
Totally different vibe. They're often described as sort of tiny versions of the great states like Egypt and Mesopotamia, but with a defining characteristic. They were intensely militaristic.
Right.
Their political structures were highly centralized, supported by elaborate bureaucracies, and just built around constant readiness for conflict.
And their connection to later Greek legend is incredibly profound. Figures like Agamemnon, Menelaus, Helen of Troy.
Deeply woven into the Mycenaean narrative. It connects this Bronze Age civilization directly to the epic stories like the Trojan War, which resonates so strongly with what we know of the Mycenaean period's martial character.
Okay, let's explore their incredible art and architecture, starting with the early Cycladic period on the islands of the Cyclades. They had plenty of white marble.
An ample supply, yes. And that marble, due to its natural fracture properties, it led to a unique aesthetic. Simple, elegant, and highly abstract forms.
And their most iconic artistic output was the Cycladic female figurines.
Definitely. Ranging dramatically in size from just a few inches to an imposing 5 feet tall. These stylized figures, often found reclining in graves, were originally vibrantly painted.
Oh, they were painted.
Yes, with facial features, hair, ornaments in black, red, and blue pigments. We just see the bare marble now, mostly.
Yeah.
It's also interesting that female figures are far more abundant than male ones.
But there are captivating exceptions, like the male harp player.
Ah, yes. A remarkably developed sculpture. While it's reduced to striking geometric essentials, there's this unmistakable, careful attention to character. It captures the essence of a musician.
Maybe suggesting something about their beliefs about the afterlife, the musician playing for the deceased.
It's certainly a possibility, a glimpse into their worldview.
Okay, moving to Minoan art and architecture on Crete. The palace at Knossos is legendary. The labyrinth myth.
Famously associated with it, yes, because of its sprawling, incredibly complex layout. It was built on a low hill covering a huge area, 6 acres, and its design was groundbreaking. It intelligently integrated diverse functions, religious spaces, residential quarters, manufacturing workshops, vast warehouses, all meticulously organized around a grand central courtyard.
Architecturally, they were true innovators. They used those inverted wooden columns.
They did, quite notably. Columns that tapered toward the bottom, larger at the capital, narrower at the base, visually distinctive.
But maybe not great for the forests.
Possibly not. This extensive use of wood may well have contributed to deforestation on the island. These columns often featured unique pillow capitals, broad, cushion-like tops, and the exterior walls, covered with smooth white lime plaster, were frequently adorned with vibrant frescoes, often with characteristic red shafts against black capitals.
The Minoan frescoes are truly spectacular. Found throughout the palace, these vibrant wall paintings depicted this joyous connection to nature, dolphins, birds, flowers, marine life.
Just teeming with life.
Yeah.
But the most iconic motif is undoubtedly the bull leaping, which may have been a significant initiation or fertility ritual. It ties directly into that enduring legend of Theseus and the Minotaur.
And figures like the snake goddess.
Beautifully crafted with that unique faience technique, a kind of glass-like ceramic known for its vibrant colors. It blends realism and stylization wonderfully, as do other elegant examples like the Ladies in Blue.
Their vase painting also flourished, showing that connection to the sea, the famous octopus jar.
A perfect example, a lively octopus gracefully wrapping around the vessel. Other examples include captivating animal figures like the leaping mountain goat.
And writing, they had 3 forms.
Yes. Hieroglyphics, then linear A, which seems to be for palace administration and religious texts, and the later linear B.
And linear B was deciphered as early Greek.
Exactly, a monumental linguistic breakthrough, crucial for accurately dating and understanding these fascinating civilizations.
Okay, now, Mycenaean art and architecture from mainland Greece. A sharp contrast to the Minoan sites, right?
Very much so. Their settlements, like the imposing cities of Mycenae and Pyrrhons, were strategically placed on high ground and surrounded by massive defensive fortification walls, reflecting that intensely militaristic culture we mentioned.
The Lion Gate at Mycenae is iconic. 2 huge lions.
Imposing, 9.5-foot tall protector lions standing proudly above a corbel arch.
A corbel arch. That's like a false arch.
Essentially, yes, created by projecting layers of stone until they meet. It demonstrates a sophisticated form of post and lintel construction, but with a relieving arch above the lintel itself to ingeniously lessen the weight.
Clever. And their burial practices were equally monumental. The tholos tombs, beehive tombs.
That's right, often called beehive tombs due to their distinctive shape or round buildings, like the legendary treasury of Atreus or the tomb of Agamemnon, masterfully constructed with projecting stone levels that gradually formed a massive dome.
Symbolizing a difficult path to bliss, the dome of heaven.
That's one interpretation, yes. Symbolizing a journey culminating in bliss. And notably, the lintel stone above the doorway in the treasury of Atreus weighs an astounding 120 tons.
120 tons, the largest known lintel at the time.
In the ancient world, yes, an incredible feat.
And Mycenaean art lived up to Homer's description of them as rich in gold.
It certainly did. We see this in exquisite pieces like the solid gold Rhyton, a ceremonial drinking vessel meticulously shaped like a lion's head.
Wow.
And the famous Vaffio cups, made with a repoussé technique.
Hammering from the back again.
Exactly. Designs hammered into the metal from the reverse side to create a raised three-dimensional surface shows their incredible mastery of metalwork. They also created intricate ivory carvings, like the delicate 3 deities.
When we look at interior design in the Aegean, we're mostly relying on traces and theories, because intact everyday stuff is rare.
Pretty rare, unfortunately. But Minoan interiors, particularly within Knossos, seemed surprisingly open and airy. They featured numerous well-lit stairways, expansive porticos, and cleverly designed air shafts, all engineered to create a comfortable, naturally ventilated environment.
The Queen's Megaron and the throne room at Knossos, with those vibrant frescoes of nature and bull leaping, must have been striking spaces.
Truly, bringing the lively spirit of the outside world directly into the heart of the palace. Their focus on maximizing light and air was quite advanced.
In Mycenaean interiors, the main feature was the megaron, the central living space.
That was the heart of the home, yes. Typically a large rectangular room distinguished by a central hearth and an inviting two-column porch. The floors of these important spaces were often paved with decorated tiles, indicating a level of sophisticated interior detailing.
But despite those tantalizing hints, painted tiles, pottery fragments, wall paintings, everyday artifacts are scarce.
Very scarce. So it leaves a lot to our imagination about the true interior vernacular of their daily lives. It's kind of fun to envision what these spaces truly look like, filled with ancient life.
Okay, from the mysterious, dynamic world of the Aegean, let's sail into the enduring, monumental realm of ancient Egypt. A civilization whose very existence was, well, fundamentally shaped by the mighty Nile River.
Absolutely fundamental. Well before 5000 BC, vibrant Paleolithic hunter-gatherer communities thrived in the fertile Nile Valley, sustained by the river's annual predictable floods.
That predictability was key, wasn't it?
Crucial. These floods deposited rich, black, fertile soil silt carried from thousands of miles away in Africa. It made agriculture possible in an otherwise incredibly arid land.
And this natural irrigation allowed for sedentary agriculture and permanent settlements.
Exactly. Mesolithic economies transitioned smoothly into Neolithic ones.
Yeah.
And crucially, the agricultural surplus generated by the Nile's bounty supported the rapid development of powerful political elites.
How did that work?
Well, their growing control over valuable resources, particularly copper and other precious metals needed for new technologies, laid the foundational groundwork for an incredibly structured and hierarchical society. A society that would impressively endure for over 3 millennia.
Egyptian history is usually organized into major periods based on dynasties of kings.
That's right. Roughly 30 dynasties. We generally speak of 3 grand eras.
Mm-hmm.
The Old Kingdom dynasties I through X, from about 3000 to 2130 BCE, famous for the pyramids.
Right.
The Middle Kingdom dynasties the 11th through 10th, from 2130 to 1580 BCE, a time of reunification and cultural flourishing. And the New Kingdom dynasties 8th through XXX, from 1580 to 1085 BCE, an age of empire building and those monumental temples.
Politically, the pharaoh was much more than just a king. He was the supreme ruler, considered literally the son of a god and the owner of all Egypt.
Precisely. And his immense duties went far beyond mere governance, protecting his people, maintaining cosmic order through just his might, and critically, performing elaborate religious rituals to ensure the Nile's vital annual floods.
Wow. So his role was tied directly to the river and cosmic order.
A profound, almost sacred connection between the pharaoh and the very order of the universe.
It was a strictly hierarchical society, too. Pharaoh at the top with limited contact with common people.
Very limited contact, maybe glimpses on grand feast days. Below him were his immediate family and the powerful high priests. Then the vizier, the chief minister, sometimes one for Upper Egypt, one for the Delta, led an elaborate class of scribes.
And the scribes were the backbone.
Absolutely, the backbone of the bureaucracy, meticulously collecting taxes, supervising the grand monumental projects that defined Egyptian civilization.
During the Middle and especially the New Kingdoms, Egypt developed a big army.
A formidable, large army. This military power allowed them to expand their empire significantly, pushing into Nubia to the south and reaching into Syria and Palestine to the northeast, underscoring their vast geopolitical influence.
And the pharaohs themselves, iconic figures. From the Old Kingdom, Narmer, who unified Upper and Lower Egypt, and Khufu, builder of the Great Pyramid.
Key figures. Narmer around 3000 BC, establishing Memphis.
Yeah.
And Khufu, or Cheops as the Greeks called him, builder of the Great Pyramid at Giza. Just the largest single building of its time. Astounding.
The New Kingdom gave us some of the most famous rulers. Thutmose III, Hatshepsut, the female pharaoh.
Yes, Thutmose III consolidated an absolute government based on his army and empire. And Hatshepsut, Egypt's first truly female pharaoh, reigned from about 1473 to 1458 BCE. Her reign saw an incredible flourishing of art and architecture.
But her monuments were later destroyed.
Tragically, yes. Systematically destroyed by Thutmose III, likely to erase her memory from history. A real loss.
Following her, Akhenaten Amenhotep V, he was the revolutionary one.
Truly revolutionary. He dramatically challenged centuries of polytheism, instituting a radical cult of sun worship centered on a single god, Aten.
Wow.
He closed all other temples, smashed traditional statues, seized their revenues, a religious revolution that shook the very foundations of Egyptian society. His chief consort, Nefertiti, with her famously elegant bust, was central to this short-lived monotheistic experiment.
And after Akhenaten, Tutankhamun restored the old ways.
Yes, the young Tutankhamun famously restored polytheism and revived the traditional rites, bringing stability back. And of course, his intact tomb, discovered in the 20th century, made him the most famous pharaoh in modern times, a symbol of ancient wealth and mystery.
And Ramses II, Ramses the Great.
Reigned for an astonishing 60 years,
Hmm.
a formidable military leader and an incredibly prolific builder, responsible for countless monuments across Egypt.
And finally, Cleopatra, the last pharaoh.
Yes, marking the end of the ancient Egyptian line, caught up in Roman politics with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. A dramatic end.
Religion seemed to permeate every single phase of Egyptian life. It wasn't just part of their culture.
It was their culture, absolutely. At its core was the profound belief in the soul, or Ka. They believed it came into being simultaneously with the body.
Okay.
And while the Ka would leave the body at death, the ultimate goal was for it to return and reunite with the preserved body for an eternal journey to immortality.
Which is why mummification was so critical.
Incredibly important. If the physical body were lost or destroyed, the Ka would be doomed to wander aimlessly for eternity, unable to achieve immortality.
And initially, immortality was just for kings.
Initially, yes. But over millennia, this belief democratized, extending the promise of immortality to common people, Ko, which explains the pyramids and tombs built with such immense scale and care to meticulously guard the bodies and possessions of kings forever, ensuring their vital existence in the afterlife.
Their pantheon of gods was vast and interconnected, visualized as humans, animals, or combined forms.
Yes, each governing specific domains. You have Osiris, god of the underworld and resurrection; Isis, his devoted wife, the divine mother and protector; Horus, the powerful falcon god, identified with the living king.
Hathor, the cow goddess; Seth, god of storms; Anubis, the jackal god.
Exactly. Hathor for children, Seth for chaos, Anubis for embalmers. Then Ra, the supreme sun god; Amun, the hidden god of Thebes, often with a ram or goose head; Hapi, the Nile flood god, shown as a man with female breasts, symbolizing bounty.
Mut for truth; Mut, Ta the creator; Aten the sun disk; even Bes, the dwarf deity.
All part of this rich tapestry. Mut with her feather, Mut as Amon's wife, Ta for craftsman, Aten for Akhenaten's revolution, and Bes helping with childbirth.
Rituals and symbols were deeply ingrained, the pharaoh as the divine intermediary.
The crucial link. Priests meticulously cared for god statues in temples, wearing specific attire sashes, gold ornaments, leopard skins symbolizing regeneration and rebirth connected to Ra. Offerings, libations, incense were central.
And religious artifacts like canopic jars for the organs.
Vital. Each jar storing specific organs removed during mummification, guarded by specific deities like Hapi, Duamutef, Kobesnuf, and Imseti. The fitula was a bronze bucket for holy water. The ankh, that iconic circle-topped cross, symbolized life itself.
And cats were honored, mummified even.
Highly honored, yes. Associated with powerful goddesses like the lion-headed Sekhmet and the cat-headed Bast, symbolizing joy and fertility.
The Egyptian fashion seems like a fascinating mix of materials, status, and symbolism. Linen was key, valued for its whiteness.
Primarily linen, woven from flax. Highly valued for its natural whiteness, which was considered a sacred color.
Women's clothing, long robes, the calasiris tunic, shawls.
Yes, long robes often accentuating squareness. The calasiris was a fine, often diaphanous, pleated-sleeved tunic. Shawls, usually white or saffron, for protection. Interestingly, art sometimes shows musicians or slave girls in very sheer muslin or even nude.
Men typically wore the shenti, the loincloth,
Right.
richer versions for pharaohs.
Exactly. Common people had practical versions. Pharaohs and officials wore shenti made of rich cloth, supported by elaborate girdles. Royal dignity was emphasized with colored girdles, ribbons, gold, and enamel jewels.
And those tiered headdresses symbolize power, the shunt and the keperesh.
Powerful symbols. The shint combined the white crown of Upper Egypt and the red of Lower, signifying unified rule. The keperesh, a blue tiara, often worn in battle, representing military might.
Military officers wore tunics, sometimes leather jackets. Pharaohs had scaled coats.
Yes. Officers in wide calasiris tunics, maybe leuni cuirasses. Pharaohs in battle wore more elaborate coats of cloth or leather, often reinforced with bone or metal scales, or corselets decorated with fierce animal figures. Protection and symbolism combined.
Hair and headdresses were important too. Men often shaved heads. Women wore coils and plaits. Wigs were common.
Men often shaved heads, partly for hygiene. Women styled hair in coils or plaits, spiked with ornaments. Wigs were incredibly common for both sexes, for comfort, sun protection, and presenting an idealized look, especially for men during religious feasts.
Jewelry, especially necklaces, were vital. Glass beads for commoners, gold and enamel for the elite.
Yes, necklaces were important adornment and amulets. Commoners used vibrant glass beads in symbolic colors, lapis blue, turquoise, jasper red, yellow. Higher classes, of course, flaunted exquisite pieces of gold and intricate enamel.
And footwear was mostly sandals.
Primarily sandals designed for comfort. The main thong between the big and second toe joined by elegant instep straps.
Now, Egyptian art. Really unique because it was governed by such strict rules and conventions, right? Some dating way back.
Incredibly strict rules, yes. Rooted in a grid system as early as 4000 BCE. The portrayal of the human figure, especially, was meticulously regulated for consistency.
Like the composite view. Head, arms, legs in profile, but eyes and torso frontal.
Exactly. The idea was that all parts must be seen to create a complete vital image, believed absolutely necessary for the afterlife. It looks unnatural to us, but it had a deep purpose.
Hierarchy of scale was another key convention. Royalty largest, commoners natural, enemies smallest.
Visually communicated social order perfectly. Largest for importance, smallest for lesser status. Color symbolism was also rigid. Reddish-brown for men, yellow for women, darkest colors for enemy slaves. Gods had specific hues, Osiris green, Isis blue.
And fundamentally, Egyptian art depicted an idealized world, omitting aging, disease, death.
Meticulously omitted those harsh realities, yes. Except when portraying inferior beings like foreigners or animals, which could be shown more realistically. It was a deliberate choice for eternal perfection.
In sculpture, the Old Kingdom pieces exude strength and dignity. The Great Sphinx.
Colossal. Head of a pharaoh, body of a lion 65 feet high, carved from living rock. A potent symbol of the sun god Ra and the pharaoh's divine power. Temple and tomb statuary served as vital physical anchors for the Ka.
The seated portrait of Khafre embodies that solid, block-like form. Eternal strength.
Perfectly. Solid diorite, quiet aloofness, eternal strength. Befitting a god-king, often with Horus protectively behind his head. In contrast, the scribe sculptures, like the famous seated scribe, show more relaxed formality and realism.
So, less important figures allowed for more naturalism.
Generally, yes. As importance decreased, formality often relaxed. A fascinating convention.
The Middle Kingdom, after turmoil, had a wider range of quality. Some royal statues still idealized, but others more realistic, careworn.
Exactly. Following Hyksos' destruction, quality varied. While idealism persisted, some pieces, like a fragment of Sesostris III, show a troubled, weary look, a stark contrast to Old Kingdom aloofness.
The New Kingdom, especially the Amarna period under Akhenaten, brought a radical shift towards realism.
A radical, though brief, shift. Akhenaten's religious reform led to a more realistic, expressive style. His portraits show almost exaggerated features, elongated head, pointed chin, heavy lips. Nefertiti's bust shows that mannered sensitivity, a whole new aesthetic.
But after Akhenaten, Tutankhamun brought art back to the traditional style. His tomb treasures are key examples.
Famously restored tradition, yes. His intact tomb yielded incredible treasures, the gold funerary mask, exquisite furniture. And remember, these tomb sculptures were substitute bodies, vital for the Kara's journey.
Egyptian painting involved bright colors on incise carvings, often on plaster, flat appearance.
Yes, bright colors applied to carvings on smoothed plaster. Scenes arranged along horizontal lines depicting the deceased's life or rituals. Rich, red, yellow, black, blue-green used. Little shading giving that distinct flat look. Frescoes like Senefer's tomb or paintings like Nefertari making offerings give invaluable insights.
And carving techniques, high relief and low relief, grooved chiseling.
Both were used. High relief projected significantly, low relief was slightly raised. Grooved chiseling around figures created sharp outlines.
Okay, architecture. Early forms included the mastaba, rectangular mud brick tomb.
The basic form, yes, a rectangular bench over a subterranean chamber. Used for royal relatives and officials, often containing chapels with reliefs and paintings.
And from the mastaba came the stepped pyramid of Zoser, designed by Imhotep.
A monumental innovation. Imhotep, the first recorded Western artist architect, essentially stacked diminishing mastabas, part of a larger mortuary complex. Seneferu's bent pyramid shows early experimentation too.
The Old Kingdom is synonymous with the pyramids of Giza, Khufu's largest, immense scale.
Truly awe-inspiring. Khufu's pyramid, 480 feet high, 13 acres over 2.3 million stone blocks. Designed on almost perfectly square plans, their massive proportions convey solidity and permanence, intricate internal passages, chambers, ceiling plugs, incredible engineering.
Moving to the Middle Kingdom, a shift to rock-hewn tombs carved into cliffs. Why the change?
Weakened pharaohs and invasion threats, especially from the Hyksos with horses and chariots, made colossal pyramids impractical, so they opted for more hidden, secure tombs carved directly into cliffs, like at Beni Hassan.
Okay.
These had columnar porches, halls, chambers carved into living rock. Some even had fluted shafts that Greeks later emulated, a pragmatic adaptation.
The New Kingdom saw the rise of grandiose pylon temples, honoring gods serving as funeral chapels.
Immense structures, yes. Rectangular oriented east-west with the sun, featuring colossal statues and towering obelisks, those tapering four-sided shafts derived from the sacred Benben stone, Ammon's dwelling place symbol.
A huge gateway, the pylon, led into an open court. Examples like Karnak, Luxor.
Exactly. The pylon marked the ceremonial entrance. Karnak is immense, dedicated to Amun-Ra, with 134 columns in its vast hypostyle hall. Luxor, connected by a sphinx-lined street, the temple of Horus at Edfu, follows the scheme.
And rock-cut temples like Ramses II at Abu Simbel. Mortuary temples like Hatshepsut's.
Abu Simbel, with those four colossal statues of Ramses as Osiris, is another marvel. And mortuary temples like Hatshepsut's weren't tombs, but places for worship during life and after death.
So overall, Egyptian architecture. Tombs, mastabas, pyramids, rock-hewn, temples, mortuary cult, obelisks, characterized by massiveness, solidity, perpetuity.
Absolutely. Rectangular forms, straight lines, simple imposing shapes, construction-battered lower walls for pyramids, mastabas, post and lintel for temples, palaces, materials, mud bricks, limestone, granite for permanence.
Interior design cleverly managed the climate. High windows, clear story, open courts, roof ventilators.
Skillfully fostered an indoor-outdoor relationship. Features like clerestories, courts, ventilators, directed air to inner rooms, maintaining surprising comfort.
Houses often had a tripartite plan. Reception, central hall, private areas, mud brick, flat roofs, small windows.
Common layout, yes. Built of mud bricks, flat roofs, small high-slit windows to minimize sun. Interiors usually whitewashed plaster.
Temples followed a precise hierarchical sequence. Gate, peristyle court, hypostyle hall, shrine, sacred chamber.
A carefully orchestrated procession. Entrance gate to open peristyle, then vast hypostyle hall, smaller shrine, finally the innermost sacred chamber, home of the god. Increasingly restricted access, built of stone for eternity.
The cutaway of the Temple of Khans at Karnak shows this well.
Perfectly illustrates the column supporting the roof, the sacred chamber for the moon god. The scale of hypostyle halls at Luxor or Abu Simbel is just immense, designed to impress and humble.
Their use of color was strong and effective. Clear primaries, green, white, black. Specific meanings.
Bold and vibrant. Red, yellow, blue primaries plus green, white, black. Ceilings often blue like the sky, maybe with vultures. Floors green like the Nile. Tempera paints from mineral pigments. Specific flesh tones. Rust red gold for men. Yellow tint for women.
Wall treatments were significant. Plaster primary, divided into zones. Dado, main field, frieze. Decorated with paintings, inlay, relief.
Yes, plaster on brick mud was common. Stone tiles for affluent. Walls divided into those three zones. Ornamental treatments were key. Paintings, inlay, relief, even mats, rugs. Subject matter showed daily life, history, filling the entire wall.
Floors commonly mud plaster or bricks, sometimes gypsum concrete or stone, painted with aquatic themes.
Mud, plaster, brick most common. Gypsum concrete or stone for moisture issues, like bathrooms. And yes, often painted with Nile themes, fish, water lilies, bringing the river's essence indoors.
Motifs and ornamentation were deeply symbolic. Floral lotus, papyrus symbolizing purity, Upper-Lower Egypt.
Not just decorative, deeply symbolic. Lotus for purity creation, papyrus too, representing Upper and Lower Egypt.
Animal forms, sphinx for protection, sundisk vulture, scarab for eternal life, falcon for Horus.
All potent symbols. Sphinx as protector, pharaohs as sun god, sun disk and vulture for protection, scarab beetle for eternal life regeneration, falcon for Horus, the royal god.
Geometric patterns, too. Hieroglyphics used decoratively. Ankh for life.
Coils, spirals were common geometric motifs, and hieroglyphics weren't just writing. Key symbols like the Ankh life, Jebs, stability, solder protection, Wedjat, Eye of Horus, were integrated into designs.
Column capitals inspired by nature. Palm, papyrus bell, lotus bud, Hathor capitals.
Remarkably beautiful, yes.
Yeah.
Palm column, palm fronds, papyrus campaniform, open papyrus flower, lotus budlet form, closed bud, non-secular, papyrus bundle columns, Lower Egypt, distinctive cow-headed Hathor capitals, even volute capitals that influenced Greece.
Moving on to furniture, wealthy houses had chairs, stools, tables, often low chairs.
Surprisingly well-furnished homes for the wealthy, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful chairs, stools, tables. Chairs often quite low, requiring a sort of cramped seating position by our standards.
But comfortable with upholstery, bright cushions, gold ornamentation.
Yes, upholstery with Bright cushions added comfort. Gold ornamentation meticulously applied to woodwork added luxury, especially for royalty.
Craftsmanship was excellent. Mortise and tenon joints, rush or leather seats, varnish and gesso finishes.
Skilled wood joinery, especially robust mortise and tenon. Seats of woven rush or stretched leather, finished with varnish and gesso, that white plaster-like substance for a smooth surface for painting or gilding.
Accents inspired by animals. Lion, swan, duck heads, carved animal paws for feet, the dog leg form.
Loved animal forms. Carved lion, swan, duck heads, feet, often carved animal paws on small blocks, and that distinctive dog leg form, hind leg gracefully in rear, foreleg in front, very elegant.
Stools were the most common furniture, symbol of authority, concave form. Egyptians invented the folding stool.
By far the most common, and a clear symbol of authority, often concave seats, leather wicker, lion's paws. And yes, widely credited with inventing the collapsible stool, fold stool, very portable, used by army commanders.
Chests were important for storage, highly decorated, tomb chests especially ornate.
Incredibly important for households, highly decorated, without legs, essential for storage and moving. Tomb chests, often exquisite wood, ivory, gold-silver inlay, hieroglyphs used decoratively for the afterlife.
Tables for eating, writing, gaming, splayed legs, perimeter stretcher.
Versatile, yes. Typically splayed legs and a perimeter stretcher for stability. Practical for low seating.
Chairs often had legs ending in carved animal feet. Simple X-form folding stools. Tutankhamun's examples are ornate.
Clawed animal feet, a recurring motif. Simple, elegant X-form folding stools also survive. Tutankhamun's tomb chairs are breathtaking gold-plated wood, inlaid semi-precious stones, painted imagery, displaying immense wealth and power. Reconstructions like Queen Hedifir's chair or Hatnofer's wooden chair give good insights too.
Beds or couch. Footboard more decorative than headboard. Curved rails. Ivory headrests used as pillows.
Yes, the footboard often more decorative. King Tut's examples show curved side rails to gently raise the head. Bed surface, interwoven material. Footboard might have upper-lower Egypt symbol. And uniquely, ivory headrests, sometimes depicting Shu, god of air, used as pillows supporting the neck in the heat.
And accessories like faience, that powdered quartz paste
Right.
used for figurines.
Distinctive material, yes. Powdered quartz, vitreous paste coating, fired for a brilliant, glass-like shine in all colors. Famously used for figurines like that Minoan snake goddess, actually.
Okay, from the enduring stability and profound symbolism of Egypt, we arrive in ancient Greece, a distinctly different civilization that arose from the ashes of the Mycenaean collapse after the Dorians overwhelmed them.
A period of transition.
This period saw the groundbreaking development of independent city-states, or polis, which, despite their rivalries, fostered an incredibly high level of creative expression and, uniquely, experimented with diverse political systems.
And a foundational concept that profoundly shaped Greek art and architecture was the golden mean, a principle of ideal proportion, balance, harmony.
Not just aesthetics, but a philosophical ideal.
Exactly. It influenced everything and served as a principle that later periods like the Renaissance would tirelessly emulate. Think Botticelli, Da Vinci. Greek history itself progresses through distinct stylistic periods: geometric, archaic, Hellenic, which we call classical, and Hellenistic.
Politically, Greece was an astonishing laboratory of governance, a huge contrast to Egypt's consistent monarchy.
Absolutely. The Greeks bravely experimented with a wide array of diverse forms of government, each leaving its mark.
You had traditional monarchies.
Power in one king or queen. Then oligarchies, power held by a few wealthy men, often aristocrats.
And tyrannies, power seized illegally.
By a single strongman, a dictator. Often cruel, though some early tyrants did bring stability.
But most significantly, they pioneered democracy, power in the hands of all citizens.
Demos plus Kratos, a foundational concept for Western political thought. This remarkable evolution of political structures is a key differentiator for the Greeks, profoundly influencing their values and their art.
In terms of religion, the Greeks were polytheistic, worshipping the Olympians on Mount Olympus.
A vibrant pantheon, yes. Numerous gods and goddesses. The core pantheon usually consisted of 12 major figures, each with distinct domains and personalities that resonated deeply.
Zeus, the supreme ruler, lord of the sky, thunderbolt wielder.
King of gods and men. His brother Poseidon commanded the sea. Hades presided over the underworld.
Pallas Athena sprang from Zeus's head, goddess of wisdom, war, craft.
Embodiment of Athenian ideals, yes. The Parthenon was hers. Phoebus Apollo, archer god, healer, god of light, music, prophecy.
Hera, Zeus's wife-sister, protector of marriage. Aphrodite, love and beauty from sea foam. Ares, god of war.
All central figures. Hera, regal and often jealous. Aphrodite, grace and allure. Ares, fierce and impulsive.
Artemis, Apollo's twin, lady of wild things. Hephaestus, god of fire, the blacksmith. Hestia, goddess of the hearth. Hermes, the messenger.
Artemis, the huntress. Hephaestus, the craftsman. Hestia, symbol of home. And Hermes, swift and cunning, messenger of the gods.
Greek fashion reflected their environment and lifestyle. Wool initially, then linen introduced by Ionians.
Yes, mountain dwellers used wool from sheep. Ionians, with trade connections, introduced lighter linens.
For women, the peplos was early, then the katin became standard.
The peplos was an early, simple, heavy woolen garment, basically a draped rectangle. Later, the shoten, initially the name for the textile, became the standard, a lighter, often linen tunic, sewn or draped, allowing more varied styles.
Men's costumes were practical. The exomus fastened on one shoulder, leaving an arm free.
Exactly. A simple rectangle of cloth, ideal for labor or activity. The clane, or claims, was a cloak, initially for shepherds, later used in military costume too. Warmth and protection.
Headwear varied. Bulbous hats, conical hats like the tholia. Footwear was mainly sandals.
Various hats for sun or ceremony. And yes, sandals for both sexes, fastened in varied, light, elegant ways, emphasizing the natural form. Military helmets, like the Mycenaean leather and metal ones, show earlier defensive gear.
Now, Greek art, an utterly fascinating evolution, from rigid abstraction to powerful emotional expression, starting with the geometric age.
Often called the Dark Ages, art characterized by abstract, rectilinear patterns like the meander and simple lines.
Pottery decorated with lines and shapes, figures made of triangles, often on grave markers.
Exactly. Figures highly stylized, constructed from triangles and lines, often on large crater vases used as grave markers, showing funerals or battles, insights into early values.
Then the Orientalizing style in the 7th century BC, influence from the East.
The pivotal shift, yes. Greek faces clearly influenced by Eastern imagery, sphinxes, griffins, floral designs, reflecting increased trade and cultural exchange. The Northampton vase is a great example.
The Archaic period saw distinct pottery styles emerge. Black figure style first. Figures in black silhouette.
Late 7th century BC, yes. Black silhouette figures on light clay background. Details incised into the glaze, letting clay color show through. White often for female flesh, purplish red for drapery. Depicted mythology or daily activities, like Exekia's vase of Ajax and Achilles playing dice.
Around 525 BC, the revolutionary red figure style reversed it. Figures in red clay color, background black.
Reverse the scheme, yes. Attributed to artists like Cyax or Euphronios. Allowed for far greater detail and naturalism as artists could paint details onto the figures. Huge step forward, seen in pieces like an Aphrodite ointment jar or a wine-mixing crater.
Archaic sculpture is marked by the choros, young man, and chore, young woman. Nude males, clothed females.
Two principal types, yes. Choroi were nude standing males.
Yeah.
Chore were clothed standing females, often goddesses.
And the defining archaic smile, not really happy.
That subtle, enigmatic smile. Not joy, more a mask-like feature, an abstract sign of life preventing inertness. Figures were generally cylindrical, simple, formalized features, stiff poses, like Hera of Samos, though some show subtle drapery like the Peplos Chore. Early Koros figures show striking similarities to Egyptian statuary, too.
The Hellenic or classical period, the peak, artists achieved near perfection, emphasizing form, harmony, proportion, balance.
Truly a peak. Figures move dynamically, naturally, abandoning stiffness.
Using the lost wax method in bronze casting, like the Poseidon or warriors from Rias.
Widespread adoption of those techniques, yes, producing masterpieces. In sculpture, Polykleides' spear-bearer, Dorophoros, exemplified contrapposto, that revolutionary pose balancing weight on one leg, creating naturalism and dynamism.
Myron's discus thrower captured action, but with a calm face. Idealized emotion.
Masterfully captured the athlete mid-action, yes, but with a serene face, idealized rather than raw emotion. Shows incredible anatomical understanding.
Phidias's colossal Athena Parthenos, 42 feet tall, ivory, gold, precious stones.
Astonishing scale and materials. Ivory for skin, over a ton of gold for drapery, precious stones for eyes, embodied sacred grandeur.
Sculpture from the Temple of Athena, Nike, like Nike fastening or sandals, shows graceful movement.
Incredible sense of movement, suggested by thin drapery defining the body, creating unifying oval lines. Classical painting, less preserved, ambitiously tried depicting reality using foreshortening and shadow modeling for dimension.
And Greek pottery forms were incredibly varied, reflecting daily life and ceremony.
A huge range, not just display pieces. Cyctors, wine coolers, pyxis, cosmetics, Labes, mixing bowls, including labes gamikos for marriage, skyphos and kylixes, wine cups, erybalos, perfume, palaik, amphora, stamnos, storage, cantharos, drinking cups, lautrophorus, bathing, alabastron, women's oils, reflects a society valuing beauty in everyday objects. The Hellenistic period, after the Peloponnesian War and Alexander's conquests, marked a significant shift. Art moved towards drama, violence, intense passion.
A move away from palm idealism. Faces became a mirror of inner emotions.
Exactly. Prioritizing raw emotional expression over traditional beauty.
This era also saw open exploration of the nude female form, sometimes more erotic, like the Nike of Samothrace or Venus de Milo.
Openly explored, yes. The dynamic drapery of the Nike suggests breathtaking movement. The Venus de Milo, modestly draped but overtly sexual. A new artistic freedom.
Realism and profound pathos were key. The seated boxer, the dying Gaul, Locune.
Powerfully conveyed. The boxer's joyless expression. The Gaul's fatal wound, combining realistic detail with powerful feeling. And Laocoon, the Trojan priest and sons overwhelmed by serpents' intense swirl of line, conveying extreme emotion and realism. Hallmarks of Hellenistic style.
Now, Greek architecture laid the groundwork for the West. Limited building types for specific purposes.
Established many structural and decorative elements, yes. Relatively limited range. Religious, civic, domestic.
They were the first to really use the column structurally and for beauty. Obsessed with proportion, used wooden trusses for roofs.
Arguably first to fully integrate the column aesthetically and structurally. Meticulous attention to proportion, seeking that golden mean. And yes, wooden trusses were innovative, eliminating interior supports, creating more open spaces.
The Acropolis in Athens. Sacred Hill, home to the Parthenon, Erechtheum, Propylaea.
Magnificent building symbolizing Athens' glory, yes. Rising 500 feet above the city.
The Parthenon, commissioned by Pericles, supervised by Phidias. Unusually large. Post and lintel, gabled roof, colonnade.
Quintessential example. Around 447 BC. Unusually large, 31 by 70 meters. Meticulous post and lintel, sloping gabled roof, majestic colonnade, 8 columns front rear, 17 sides. The Aegean marbles were originally part of its sculpture.
The Greek orders were fundamental in defining space. Doric, Ionic, Corinthian.
A visual language for buildings, yes. Divided spaces horizontally, created vertical interest through decoration. Names from presumed inventors' regions.
Doric, earliest, most massive. Simple column, no base, fluted shaft, plain capital, echinus, abacus, entablature with triglyphs and metopes and scriptaces.
Earliest, strongest look. Simple heavy column, no base, fluted shaft, broad plain capital, entablature with architrave, frieze, triglyphs, metopes, cornice, and yes, antithesis, that subtle outward bulge, giving dynamism and correcting optical illusion. Parthenon, Temple of Hera, Temple of Zeus are key examples.
Ionic, lighter, taller, elaborate base, capital with double scrolls.
Volutes.
Lighter, more graceful. Elaborate base, distinctive lute capital. Beautifully used in the Erechtheum on the Acropolis, which also has the famous Porch of Caryatids.
Caryatids, female figures as columns. Exactly. Draped female figures as supports. The Temple of Athena Nike is another prime Ionic example.
Corinthian, most ornate. Elongated capital with acanthus leaves. Small volutes. Initially indoors.
Most decorative, yes. Lush acanthus leaves, small volutes. Initially indoors, later popular externally, especially in Hellenistic Roman times. Temple of Olympian Zeus, choragic monument of Lysicrates, first known external use, are examples. Beyond these, they also use caryatids and Telemonas Atlantes, male figures, as sculptural columns.
Greek architecture also shaped public spaces. The Agora Plaza meeting place, Stoa colonnaded building, Acropolis citadel.
Prototypes for civic life, Agora for commerce politics, Stoa for shelter shops, Acropolis, the sacred citadel.
The temple housed the deity statue, evolved from the Megaron, cella, inner room, peristyle colonnade.
Most significant religious structure, yes, built to house the cult statue. Cella inside, often surrounded by a peristyle.
The theater for plays, open-air amphitheater, orchestra, dancing place, proscenium, acting area, skene, backdrop, epidar is a key example.
Exactly. Stone seats around the orchestra, proscenium, skene, peridos exodus, entrance exits. Theater at Epidaros is perfectly preserved.
Other civic structures, Prytanean, Senate House, Bouleuterian, Council House, Mausoleum, large tomb.
Yes, all part of their developed civic infrastructure.
And for activities, palestra, gymnasium, odeons, smaller covered theaters, stadiums, foot races, hippodromes, chariot races.
Covered all bases for public life, education, and entertainment.
Greek interior design, surprisingly colorful, not just white marble.
Often overlooked, but yes. Large surfaces coated with ivory white plaster, then vibrant splashes of bright red, blue, green for decoration. Stellar blue, prominent on the Parthenon frieze, made buildings incredibly vibrant.
Figures tinted realistically too. Polychromy made buildings dynamic.
Yes, figures tinted with mist blue, pale green, pink, yellow. This polychromy, use of various colors, must have been visually arresting, very different from the pristine image we often have.
Homes arranged around a central court. Oecus was the main living space for women children. Plain rooms, earth or mosaic floors.
Generally arranged around a central court, yes. Oecus as the all-purpose family hub. Excavations suggest plain rooms, white walls, tamped earth, or simple mosaic floors usually.
Temple interiors house the cult statue. Cella, single 2 rooms. Larger temples had internal columns, maybe a mezzanine.
Cell for the deity, yes. Larger ones might have internal columns supporting a mezzanine or balcony, though rarely public access.
Molding and ornamentation related to the orders. Bead and reel, egg and dart, dental. Geometric patterns like the Greek key.
Refined, repeating patterns linked to orders, yes. Bead and reel, egg and dart, dental and cornices, and the iconic geometric Greek key or fret, highly symbolic.
Floors, packed earth, painted pavement or mosaics. Tessellated small pieces, and opus sectile cut shapes techniques.
Packed earth common, but wealthier homes had painted pavement or elaborate mosaics. Mosaics became increasingly important, tessellated using small tesserae, opus sectile using larger, precisely cut pieces. Mosaics central to interior aesthetics, seen beautifully in Alenthos houses.
Ceilings, coffered, sunken panels, flat or beamed. Polished stucco finish, materials, stone, marble, limestone, wood, plaster, bronze, terracotta, thatch.
Ceilings could be coffered, flat, or beamed, often with polished stucco. Materials varied. Local stone, wood, plaster, bronze, clay terracotta, thatch for roofs, chosen for availability, durability, aesthetics.
Wall treatments varied. Simple mud brick, wealthier homes divided into dado, mainfield, cornice, painted imitation stone, incrustation. Hellenistic saw more illusionistic painting.
Simplest was unplastered mud brick, wealthier. Walls divided into dado, main field, cornice. Early styles imitated stone with paint or plaster. Hellenistic period saw more elaborate illusionistic architectural elements and pictorial painting, creating a sense of expanded space.
Greek furniture, elegance and utility. Animal feet, dog's foot, lion's paw, concave backs on chairs.
Simple but elegant design, yes. Finely carved animal feet common. Some chairs had gracefully concave backs for comfort.
Stools were common. Diphrosocladius, folding stool. Bathron, simple flat-top stool.
Stools universal. Diphrosocladius, like a modern camp stool, sometimes elaborate. Bathron, simpler, 4 straight legs, no back.
Chairs were significant. Thranes, throne chair for men. Thronos, built-in seating. And the iconic Klismos chair for women.
Chairs often denoted status. Thrones was a grand throne, often with footstool. Thronos referred to built-in seats. But the Klismos is the most distinctive, elegant, splayed saber legs, slightly curved back, often with woven rush caning. Incredibly influential design.
Tables were typically tripod tables, 3-legged. The Klein was a bed and a couch, chests for storage.
Tripod tables common, stable, easily moved. And the Klein was truly versatile bed and couch, used for reclining at meals, symposium, and sleeping. Central to social life. Chests essential for storage.
Okay, from the humanism and harmony of classical Greece, we leap forward dramatically. Mid-12th to 16th centuries, plunging into the soaring heights and profound divine aspirations of the Gothic period. It's fascinating how the term Gothic was originally an insult.
Absolutely. Coined by Renaissance critics as a derisive label, linking it to the barbarian Goths blamed for Rome's fall, meant to imply a lack of classical conformity, a lack of refined taste.
But contemporaries called it opus modernum or opus franciginum, French style.
It's much more appreciative names, yes, recognizing its innovative origins. Abbot Sugar, the visionary behind the revolutionary facade and ambulatory of the Abbey Church of St. Denis near Paris, is widely credited with inventing this groundbreaking style.
Drawing on Neoplatonism, light as divine presence.
Consciously drew on that philosophy, yes, emphasizing light as a manifestation of God to create his luminous, transformative architecture.
Intellectually, the period was shaped by scholasticism, reconciling faith and reason.
The dominant philosophical system, yes. Medieval Christian thinkers rigorously sought to reconcile faith and reason, often using Aristotelian logic. This fueled intellectual pursuits and influenced everything, including architecture.
Socially, the Black Death had a huge impact.
Devastating. The bubonic plague in the 14th century killed up to 1/3 of Europe's population, profoundly impacted society, labor, and indirectly art and architecture, often leading to a more intense focus on mortality and redemption.
Politically, France and England dominated by the feudal system, Italy more fragmented.
Largely feudal in France and England, yes. Italy was different powerful republics, independent dukedoms. City life blossomed with more freedom there, partly due to power struggles between the papacy and the Holy Roman Empire, allowing cities autonomy.
And the Crusades. Military campaigns with long-term consequences.
Ultimately, a strategic failure in reclaiming the Holy Land, yes. But they had profound long-term consequences, fostered repeated contacts with the East, influenced trade, introduced new technologies, broadened cultural perspectives, indirectly contributing to Gothic innovations.
Religion was the all-encompassing driving force, influenced by figures like St. Francis of Assisi.
Truly the driving force. St. Francis's movement, emphasizing poverty, humility, engaging common people, vigorously strengthened faith, and stimulated intense religious emotion in cities. Crucially, it implicitly weakened feudal power by offering alternative spiritual authority, bringing a kind of democracy to religion.
And the Dominicans, founded by St. Dominic, rivals to Franciscans, focused on theology.
Significant intellectual rivals, yes, tasked with rooting out heresy through rigorous theology and preaching. Produced towering figures like St. Thomas Aquinas, a leading light of the University of Paris, defining voice of scholasticism.
The papacy remained supreme, wielding immense power. Devotion to the Virgin Mary led to lady chapels.
Papacy wielded immense power in the 13th century, able to make and unmake rulers, and yes, widespread devotion to Mary, the Queen of Heaven, led to dedicated lady chapels in cathedrals. Church plans evolved to more clergy space, chapels for saints, ambulatories, chantry chapels for masses for the dead.
Gothic fashion reflected these shifts. New religious spirit, crusades, trade, economic progress. Technical advances like the spinning wheel helped.
Dynamically reflected all those changes, yes. And technical advances like the spinning wheel and better carding processes significantly advanced textile production. Cloth became more available, more refined.
Wool and linen, still primary. Common garments. The coat, surcoat, cloaks.
Wool and linen remained key. The coat was long, flowing for men and women, sleeves wide at top, tight at wrist, a surcoat often worn over it, cloaks like the rectangular mantle apparer or manteau noble, draped outer garments, sometimes fur-lined, fastened with a cord.
Men's details. Dorlo, curled fringe. Hair often hidden by headwear. Headwear like the coif, circlet, tressoirs.
Distinctive details, yes. Dorlo fringe, hair often covered. Headwear ranged from the simple coif, cap, and circlet band to more elaborate tressoirs, braids, and frontals. Men wore simpler headdresses until the 13th century.
Footwear. Light boots. Popular. Military. Hauberk. Chainmail continued, with collet, coif, mail hose, camouflaged by a coat of arms.
Estivo boots popular. Military still used the hauberk, supplemented by neck armor, collet, hood, coif, sleeves, hose, often covered by a coat of arms bearing the knight's heraldic device.
Episcopal costume was elaborate. Alb, emect, dalmatic, chaseable, manipule, stole, gloves, mitre, tiara.
Very elaborate, reflecting clerical dignity. Alb, embroidered for neck covering, dalmatic, wide sleeves, chaseable, outer vestment. Also manipule, armband, stole ends, gloves, the tall pointed mitre, early tiara, all symbolizing sacred office.
Gothic art served as a powerful narrative medium. Stone, glass, manuscript.
Conveying religious stories and theology visually, yes. In painting, illuminated manuscripts were significant tempera and gold leaf on vellum, often moralized Bibles, like those from Paris. Frescoes also adorned interiors, think Giotto's St. Francis preaching to the birds, or Cimabue in Florence.
Sculpture featured high-relief carving, influenced by classical sculpture, idealized faces, contrapposto, natural draperies, anatomical correctness, seen in door gem statues at Chartres.
Prominently featured high relief, yes. Clear classical influence reappears, idealized faces, natural contrapposto, flowing draperies, increasing anatomical accuracy. Seen powerfully, the door jamb statues at Chartres, dignified, serene figures. Also the intricate tympanum, lintel, archivolts of portals, teeming with narrative.
Reliquaries were elaborate shrines for sacred relics, considered more valuable than precious stones.
Elaborately detailed shrines, yes. Storing and displaying relics believed to hold immense spiritual power. Often intricate gold, silver, jewels. Cathedral sculpture, like Cologne's south transept portal, shows incredible detail too.
Stained glass is arguably the defining feature, transforming sunlight into divine lux nova, light as God's manifestation.
The defining transformative feature, absolutely. Not just decorative. It turned natural light into what Sugar called new light, a manifestation of God. The technique involved coloring glass with metallic oxides, cutting intricate shapes, assembling with lead strips, vast luminous compositions.
And the flying buttress was key to allowing this, transferring weight outwards.
Absolutely key. Those external semi-arches transfer the vault's lateral thrust to piers outside, allowing architects to replace massive stone walls with immense stained glass windows, dramatically increasing interior light and color. Chartres, with its surviving 12th century windows and huge 13th century rose window, is a prime, breathtaking example. Bathes the interior in transcendent glow.
Gothic architecture itself, greatest innovation, translating wooden roofs into stone-ribbed vaults.
Revolutionary, yes. Allowed for unprecedented height and light.
Characteristic features, pointed arch, ribbed vault, flying buttresses, the French style.
That iconic trio, yes. Fundamentally interconnected, earned the name opus franciginum. Verticality and a spiritual emphasis on light are strongly conveyed, sharply pointed spires, clustered columns drawing the eye up, naves taller than wide, expansive windows flooding the interior.
A skeletal stone structure with vast glass, light transforming space.
Exactly. A symbolic representation of God's presence through light.
Typical facade, 3 sections. Bottom with portal sculpture, middle with rose lancet windows, top with tower spires.
A masterpiece of symbolic design, generally yes. Bottom. 3 recessed portals, often sculpted. Middle, large rose window flanked by lancets. Upper, soaring towers and spires, drawing the eye heavenward.
Phases of Gothic. Early, 1120 to 1200, St. Denis, Notre Dame.
Foundational structures, yes. St. Denis, first major Gothic. Notre Dame, wide nave, double aisle, chevet. Powerful west front, emphasizing verticality.
High Gothic, 1280, Renaissance style. Elaboration, radiating lines. Sotte-Chapelle, Chartres, Amiens, Reims.
Focus on decoration, radiating lines and tracery. The Sainte-Chapelle sheet-like windows are exquisite rayonnant. Chartres, France's model church, strong transepts, fine statuary, 3 arched flying buttresses. Amiens resembles Notre Dame. Reims, fine plan, rich portals, advanced flying buttresses over double aisles.
Late Gothic, 1280-1500, flamboyant style, flame-like detail, complex tracery. King's College Chapel.
Even more intricate, flame-like decorative detail, flamboyant flaming, complex curvilinear tracery, restless energy. King's College Chapel in England, with stunning fan vaulting, is a magnificent example.
Regional variations fascinating. England, Salisbury Cathedral, central tower spire, level site, more linear.
Yes, Salisbury embodies typical English Gothic magnificent tower spire, linearity, less extreme verticality than French. King's College Chapel, prime late English Gothic.
Spain, Salamanca, early French Romanesque influence. Toledo, high, wider events tableau. Seville, late, largest medieval cathedral on mosque site. Mudejar influence.
Distinct influences, yes. Salamanca shows southern French Romanesque. Toledo, wider, shallow apse, huge altarpiece. Seville, largest medieval on mosque site, rich vaulting, immense scale, and yes, unique Mudejar blending of Christian Islamic elements.
Italy, Gothic, often different. Milan Cathedral, late German influence, white marble, flat roof. Doge's Palace, Venice Civic Gothic. Cotero, Venice Domestic.
Italy often retained more classical elements. Milan, significant late Gothic, German influence, white marble, flat roof, double aisles. Doge's Palace, grandest Civic Gothic, open arcade, patterned marble. Cotero, beautiful domestic Gothic, delicate Venetian tracery.
Germany, Cologne Cathedral, late largest floor space. Resembles Amiens. Massive spires.
Monumental late Gothic marvel, yes. Largest floor space. Resembles Amiens. Choir rises 150 feet. Massive twin spires overlook the Rhine. Construction spanned centuries.
Key architectural elements. Pointed arch lancet, directed weight down. Ribbed vault, stone skeleton, channeled weight.
Fundamental innovations. Pointed arch, more efficient than round. Ribbed vault, the stone skeleton, channeled weight to specific points, allowing thinner walls.
Fan vaulting, radiating ribs. Flying buttress, external arches, transferring thrust.
Fan vaulting, ornate radiating ribs, King's College. Flying buttress, revolutionary external semi-arches, transfer thrust to piers, enabling thinner walls and huge windows.
Flyers, external towers. Vertical divisions inside. Arcaded gallery, triforium, clerestory, light, tracery, ornamental stonework. Rose window, arch shapes varied.
Spires characteristic externally. Inside, arcade lowest, triforium, shallow passage above. Towering clerestory, uppermost windows for light. Tracery, ornamental stonework in windows, evolved complexity. Rose windows, circular prominent, arch shapes varied, equilateral, flamboyant, depressed.
Gothic interior design. Cathedrals. Walls of glass, stained glass instructing the faithful, richer, brighter than wall paintings.
Ethereal quality, yes. Literal walls of glass, stained glass, incredibly rich, brilliant, far more vivid than paintings. Vital purpose, instructing faithful with vivid biblical stories illuminated by divine lux nova.
Secular Gothic architecture. Town halls, guild halls, castles, palaces, stone vaulting or wooden roofs, great hall, most public space, dais, minstrel gallery, hammer beam roof.
Adopted many innovations, yes. Stone vaulting or impressive wooden roofs, great hall, the main public space raised dais, minstrel gallery, often magnificent hammer beam roof, open timber roof, like Westminster Hall.
Hotel Dieu, bone hospital, booth-like beds, barrel-vaulted roof. Castles, palaces became more domestic. Haddon Hall, England. Château de Langeais, France. House of Jacques Coeur, France.
Hotel Dieu shows institutional interiors, curtain beds, wooden barrel vault. Castles, palaces became more domestic, prioritizing comfort. Haddon Hall. Banqueting hall, stone walls, wood roof, window seats, paneling. Château de Langeais. Large fireplaces, curtain beds needed for drafts. House of Jacques Coeur, merchant. Elaborate carved fireplace, wood paneling, reflecting rising merchant class comfort.
Gothic furniture incorporated architectural styles. Pointed arches, columns, tracery, linen fold panels, flower motifs. Themes, religious, heraldic, animal, floral.
Fleur-de-lis. Clearly incorporated architectural styles, yes. Pointed arches, columns, tracery, linen fold carving, flower shapes. Themes often religious, heraldic, animal, griffins, lions, floral, fleur-de-lis symbol.
Italian Gothic, 13th, 14th C. Armchairs influenced by Roman Q rule, X-form. Dantesca chair, Savonarola chair, folding.
Yes, Roman influence seen.
Yeah.
Dantesca chair, curved supports, X-shape. Savonarola chair, serpentine X-shaped staves, foldable.
English Gothic, 14th, 15th C. Oak chairs, symbol of authority. Rectilinear, box-like, high-paneled back. Stools, usual seating. Ambry-ombry, large storage cupboard.
Typically sturdy oak. Chairs, grand, symbol of authority from Astraguests. Rectilinear, box-like, high-paneled backsides, arms, immense solidity. Stools, usual seating, trestle or boxed. Ambry-ombry, large, crucial storage cupboard.
French Gothic, 15th C. Finest pieces, chairs rare, rectilinear, often with coffer, chest, below seat. Dagobert chair, throne chairs, ornate finials, arches, tracery, gargoyles.
Often considered finest, yes. Chairs still rare versus stools. Rectilinear, often with coffer under seat. Examples: Dagobert chair, imposing throne chairs for lords adorned with finials, pointed arches, tracery, gargoyles, chimera legs.
Stools, escabeau, settees echoed architecture. Storage, dressoir, sideboard, credence, display buffet, armoire, cupboard. Buffet's cupboards tiered by rank.
Refined stools like escabeau. Settees echoed architecture. Storage functional and beautiful. Dressoir, grand sideboard. Credence, display buffet, credenza. Armoire, tall cupboard. Buffet's cupboards, large, step tiers indicating rank. Carved oak buffet might have pierced flamboyant tracery.
Tables, often trestle tables, dismantleable. Beds, massive four-poster beds. Linen fold carving, decorated posts.
Trestle tables practical, dining could be dismantled. Supports often incorporated Gothic motifs. Beds, massive four posters, linen fold carved valances, heavily carved post bedsteads, creating a private chamber.
Decorative arts flourished. Tapestries, Lady of the Unicorn, Millefleur. Stained glass, Our Lady of the Beautiful Window. Engraved silver spoons. Colors, deep violet, royal blue, rich gold, ivory, white, black.
Complemented architecture, yes. Tapestries famous after 1400, insulation and narrative. Lady of the Unicorn, Millefleur's background. Stained glass like Chartreux window, vivid biblical stories. Even everyday items like silver spoons engraved. Colors deep, rich. Violet, blue, gold, ivory, black. Sense of depth and spiritual richness.
Okay, our final leg takes us to the Byzantine Empire, the magnificent Eastern Roman legacy. A civilization that endured for over a millennium, right? From around 330 AD to 1453 AD.
An incredibly long run. Its founding began with Emperor Constantine the Great. After his vision of a cross before the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, he decided to build a new capital in the Greek city of Byzantium in 324 AD.
Renaming it Constantinople, City of Constantine, or Nova Roma, New Rome.
Grandly renamed, yes. And Constantinople's strategic location was absolutely vital. Nestled right between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, it was a crucial trade hub connecting Asia, Europe, North Africa.
Under Emperor Justinian I, a golden age, 527-565 AD, marked by reconquest and legal reform.
A short but incredibly significant golden age, yes. Yeah, ambitious reconquest of former Roman territories and comprehensive legal reform under Justinian.
But the empire eventually fell to the Ottoman Turks in 1453. They renamed it Istanbul, converted Hagia Sophia to a mosque.
Tragically ended then, yes. Ottomans conquered Constantinople, renamed it Istanbul. Converting Hagia Sophia from Christian church to mosque was a powerful symbolic act, marking a profound religious and cultural shift.
Despite its fall, the Byzantine Empire served two vital historical functions: preserving Roman Greek culture, cultural diffusion.
Absolutely vital
Okay.
roles. First, unparalleled preserver of Roman and Greek culture texts, philosophy, and most notably, Justinian's comprehensive code of Roman law, bedrock of European law. Second, major force for cultural diffusion, spreading Greek, Roman, and crucially Christian ideas and artistic styles, a vital bridge east and west.
Politically and religiously, officially Christian, but differences led to the Great Schism in 1054 AD, splitting into Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholic.
Fundamentally shaped by Christianity, yes. Initially unified, but growing differences, especially over use of religious images, icons, led to that permanent division in 1054, the Great Schism.
And unlike the Western Church, the Eastern Church was closely united with the emperor, Caesaropapism.
Yes, a key difference. In Constantinople, the church was closely tied to the emperor's secular power. Caesaropapism, the emperor controlled and protected the church, essentially acting as both Caesar and pope, wielding immense religious and political authority.
Emperor Justinian ruled as an autocrat. Goal to restore Roman Empire's greatness, General Belisarius led armies.
Embody that Caesar-Papist ideal, yes. Ruled absolute autocrat. Ambitious goal, restore Rome's greatness. Dispatched armies under brilliant General Belisarius to reclaim territories across the Mediterranean, North Africa, Italy, Spain.
Justinian's most lasting legacy, perhaps Justinian's Code, comprehensive list of laws.
Arguably his most profound legacy, yes. Not just laws, a comprehensive systematic code created by his legal experts, regulated virtually all areas of Byzantine life: marriage, slavery, property, inheritance, women's rights, criminal law.
Served the empire for 900 years. Influenced European law.
Astonishingly long influence. Served the empire for 900 years, profoundly influenced European law when revived in the 1100s.
Empress Theodora, Justinian's wife. Influential, powerful, considered co-regent, recognized as a saint.
Remarkable figure. Humble origins as an actress, rose to be chief advisor, often considered co-regent. Played pivotal role in politics, religion. Recognized as a saint in the Eastern Church for her strength and wisdom.
We also need to note the context of the rise of Islam. Founded 622 CE by Muhammad, sacred texts, Quran, Hadith, 5 pillars.
Significant geopolitical context, yes. Founded in Arabian Peninsula, Quran, Allah's words, Hadith, Muhammad's collection. Duties, 5 pillars, faith, testimony, prayer, 5x daily, charity, Ramadan fast, Mecca pilgrimage. Ottoman conversion of Hagia Sophia centuries later marked a huge shift.
Byzantine fashion. Vibrant color and pattern, richly patterned cloth, especially silk, distinctive borders, trimmings.
Defined by color and pattern, yes. Renowned producers-exporters of richly patterned cloth, especially luxurious silk, mostly for upper-class court. Distinctive borders and elaborate trimmings common, elevating garments.
Imperial court influenced fashion. Middle upper classes followed trends. Textile motifs complex.
Imperial courts set the trends, definitely. Middle upper classes followed eagerly. Surviving fragments, magnificent patterns of flowers, real mythical animals, quadriga, chariots, races, circles, palmettes, showcasing weaving techniques and importance of rich color.
Military costume. Breastplate, short tunic, boot sandals, imperial costume. Crowns, heavily jeweled laurels.
Military, practical but ordered. Breastplate over tunic, boots or high-strap sandals. Imperial costume grand, symbolic, elaborate crowns. The laurel's long, decorated fabric strip, heavily jeweled, wrapped around body. Symbolize immense power, divine connection. Interestingly, this opulent Byzantine aesthetic still inspires modern designers.
Byzantine art and architecture centered around the Christian story.
Intrinsically centered on Christian narrative and figures, yes. A powerful visual language for faith. Key development, refined glass-making techniques, added gold foil to clear tesserae, creating luminous, shimmering pieces for their famous mosaics, works of outstanding beauty, defining Byzantine interiors.
Artistically, shifted away from Roman 3D sculpture towards painting on flat surfaces, mainly religious forms, emphasizing spiritual depth.
Deliberate shift, yes. Away from Roman naturalistic sculpture. Favored painting on flat surfaces, primarily religious forms. Style emphasized spiritual depth over physical realism.
The iconoclastic period from 726 AD was against religious images. Destruction of icons.
Controversial period, yes. State-sponsored movement under Emperor Leo III against venerating images. Resulted in destruction of countless icons, sacred depictions, though regions like Italy resisted.
Painting devotional panels, icons played a leading role. Naturalism ignored. Frontal poses, large eyes.
Icons played a vital role, yes. Focal points for prayer, meditation. Naturalism largely ignored. Figures typically frontal, static, heads aligned, partly individualized faces, large piercing eyes gazing at viewer. Subjects almost exclusively religious figure scenes, inspiring reverence.
Illuminated manuscripts also significant, not a degeneration, but a new aesthetic, merging Eastern-Western traditions.
Illuminated manuscripts meticulously copied illustrated, preserving knowledge beauty. An important point. Not a degeneration, but a slightly new aesthetic. Fascinating merging of Eastern-Western traditions, especially in 12th C. Unique visual language prioritizing spiritual symbolism.
Byzantine architecture, characterized by the dome, cruciform shape, round arches, circular windows, formal, symmetrical, compact plans.
Instantly recognizable features, yes. Dome-dominant cruciform church plans common. Relied on sturdy Roman round arches, circular windows. Buildings formal, symmetrical, compact, functional plans, emphasizing interior space.
Materials, plain exteriors, brick, stone bands, stuccos, continuation of Roman architecture, blending east-west.
Often practical yet elegant materials. Plain exteriors. Large, flat, buff bricks often banded with light stone or stucco-plastered concrete. Fundamentally continuation of Roman buildings, skillfully blending Eastern-Western elements.
Structural innovations crucial. Pendentives, spherical triangles transferring dome weight. Squinch arch, diagonal arches converting square to octagon.
Absolutely crucial for domes. Pendentives, ingenious Roman invention perfected by Byzantines, transferred circular dome weight to 4 points on a square base. Squinch arch, corbelled arches piled diagonally in corners, achieved similar conversion from square to octagon for dome support.
Iconostasis, a typical feature. Large screens separating sanctuary from nave. Light crucial, reflecting off mosaics marble.
Defining feature, yes.
Yeah.
Large screen with icons, separating sacred sanctuary from nave, creating mystery, hierarchy. And light was key, entering through clerestory windows, refracting off shimmering mosaics and colored marble, creating luminous, otherworldly interiors.
Hagia Sophia, Istanbul, 532-537 AD. The most important structure, Holy Wisdom, Justinian Commission, massive dome on pendentives, fusion of Basilica central plan.
Arguably the most important, revolutionary structure. Basis for countless adaptations. Holy Wisdom, Justinian Commission, massive dome, 107-foot diameter on pendentives, unique fusion of basilica form with central plan cross shape, epitome of Byzantine architecture, changed history, world's largest cathedral for almost 1,000 years. Interior, vast arcades, half domes, ring of 40 windows at dome base giving sense of weightlessness floating on light.
Other examples, Mausoleum of Galla Placidia, Ravenna, earliest cruciform, mosaics intact. San Vitale, Ravenna, octagonal, domed, hollow pottery, famous mosaics of Theodora.
Further insights, yes. Galla Placidia, earliest surviving cruciform, incredible preserved mosaics. San Vitale, octagonal central plan, lightweight dome, hollow pottery. Famous mosaics, including Empress Theodora, considered early Christian and Byzantine.
St. Mark's, Venice, famous for colored marbles, brilliant glass mosaics covering everything. Underground cistern, Istanbul, engineering skill. SS Sergius and Bacchus, Istanbul, retains original details.
St. Mark's later but embodies Byzantine influence, luxurious marble, brilliant mosaics, creation, redemption, saints, on glowing gold background. Overwhelming splendor. Underground cistern, Justinian era, shows remarkable engineering, 333 columns. SS Sergius and Bacchus, now a mosque, retains much original marble decoration.
Exterior decoration in mid-Byzantine. Tiled facings, cloisonné work, minarets were later Muslim additions.
Mid-Byzantine exteriors, often more elaborate tiled facings, cloisonné, enamel metal patterns in compartments, geometric patterns like Church of St. Saviour and Chora. Minarets seen now are later Muslim additions.
Byzantine interior design, opulence through mosaic and marble. Classical detail faded for freer ornamentation. Engineering skills developed.
Opulence achieved through mastery of mosaic marble, yes. Classical detail faded, replaced by limited but freer, more symbolic ornament. Engineering skills retained and developed for grand spaces.
Interiors richly decorated, wall surfaces covered in colored marble patterns, mosaic images, central space often surrounded by ambulatory gallery.
Richly decorated, yes. Walls covered in colored marble, complex patterns, and vast, luminous mosaics. Central space often surrounded by ambulatory passage processions with gallery above. Layered space.
Mosaics, the defining feature. Hagia Sophia. Southwestern entrance, Constantine Justinian offering models. Deesis mosaic, finest human expressions. Imperial gate mosaic, many lost.
Defining feature transforming light into narrative. Hagia Sophia. Southwestern entrance depicts Constantine Justinian. Deesis mosaic, 1261, Return of Orthodoxy, considered finest soft human expressions. Mary, John the Baptist, Christ. Imperial gate shows emperor prostrate. Sadly, many obliterated, plastered over post-conversion.
Sembatale, lunettes, half-moon spaces, with mosaics, Good Shepherd, St. Lawrence, strict hierarchical order in church mosaics, pantocrator at dome center, floor mosaics geometric or daily life.
San Vitale, lunettes famous. Good Shepherd, St. Lawrence. Mosaics followed strict hierarchy. Pantocrator, Jesus, ruler of universe at dome center. Other sacred figures descending below. Guided viewers eye up. Floor mosaics often geometric, sometimes everyday scenes. Grape harvest.
Walls plastered, ornamentation, paintings, inlay, relief, mats, rugs, ceilings vaulted, gilded, frescoes. Ceiling mosaic, Sala di Ruggiero, Palermo, recalled Roman floors.
Walls primarily plastered. Ornamentation included paintings, inlay, relief, mats, rugs. Ceilings vaulted, gilded, frescoes. Palermo ceiling mosaic, c. 1170. Strip scrolling patterns, roundels, formalized monsters, beasts, recalling Roman floor mosaics. Continuity of motifs.
Capitals fused structure decoration, mosaic and carved marble, abstracted basket weave forms, oriental influence, colors, rich gold, bone, black.
Capitals fascinating fusion, yes. Mingled mosaic carved marble. San Vitale, Hagia Sophia. Resembled precise symmetry of heraldry, often abstracted basket weave forms, clear oriental influence. Moving away from Greek orders. Dominant colors. Rich gold, bone white, deep black. Solemn majesty, varial light.
Byzantine furniture, two types, secular, commoners, light, foldable, religious palace, solid timber, grandeur lasting.
Distinct categories reflecting social structure, yes. Secular. Commoners had little, light, foldable, portable. Religious palace. Solid, heavy timber designed to last, convey grandeur, authority.
Materials, wood, main structure, ivory, ornamentation, veneers, solid, precious stones, embedded in thrones, joinery, mortise and tenon, brackets.
Sophisticated materials construction. Wood primary, ivory for luxury ornament, veneers, solid pieces, precious stones embedded in royal pieces, skilled joinery, mortise and tenon, brackets for durability.
Palace furniture seen in museums, heavy carved chairs, inlaid tables, cabinets, chests, throne of Queen Marie example.
Examples survive, yes. Heavy carved pillared chairs, inlaid tables, cabinets, chests. Throne of Queen Marie skillfully turned, richly carved. Silver inlay shows masterful craftsmanship, imperial prestige.
Common furniture, folding stool stables popular, portability. Chests, lockskis for storage, religious furniture, carved icon stands, altar tables, Greek Orthodox.
Folding stool stables popular for practicality. Chests vital for storage, offered with lockskis. Religious furniture like carved icon stands, altar tables, mahogany reflects the central importance of religious art ritual. Hashtag tag outro.
Wow. What an incredible journey we've just taken. From the vibrant Bronze Age Aegean, those bull-leaping frescoes, distinctive fashion, through the monumental scale and profound afterlife focus of ancient Egypt, to the human-centric idealism and innovative structures of classical Greece, and finally into the light-filled, soaring heights of Gothic cathedrals and the mosaic-rich splendor of Byzantium.
Indeed. We've really seen how each civilization, profoundly shaped by its unique environment, its deeply held beliefs, its evolving political systems, meticulously developed a truly unique aesthetic language.
Right.
From the practical ingenuity demanded by the life-giving Nile, driving that quest for permanence, to the spiritual aspiration embodied by the pointed arch in Gothic cathedrals, reaching for the divine.
Yeah.
And from the divine pharaoh to the democratic polis. Their designs were never just functional or simply beautiful. They were profound, enduring expressions of their entire worldview, telling us who they were, what they valued, what they aspired to be.
So as you go about your day, maybe observing the architecture around you or, just picking up a piece of furniture, consider this. How much of the form and function we take for granted today has its roots, its very DNA, in these ancient and medieval innovations? Good question. And what hidden messages are our own contemporary designs subtly conveying to future civilizations about our values, our beliefs, what we choose to prioritize? What stands out to you from this deep dive, and how might it change the way you see the world?
Well, perhaps it's that sheer emphasis on eternal permanence in Egyptian architecture, or the revolutionary embrace of light and height in Gothic cathedrals, transforming spiritual space. Or maybe it's the fascinating dance between practicality and prestige we saw in Byzantine furniture. Each era offers such a unique and powerful lens into what humanity has valued and sought to express through its creations.
Until our next deep dive into discovery, stay curious,